Men are losing their mind over a recent video that I made explaining how you leaving a good guy doesn't make you a bad person. Your spouse doesn't have to be abusive in order for your feelings of wanting to leave to be valid. There are dozens of reasons why marriages fall apart, and a lot of them have nothing to do with somebody being a bad person. Here are some examples: financial problems, growing apart, communication issues, addiction, too much arguing, lack of emotional or physical intimacy, one spouse just isn't carrying their weight in the marriage. Maybe you married too young or for the wrong reasons. Opposing values or lack of shared interests. Or maybe you just live like platonic roommates. Those are all very common reasons for divorce. And it doesn't make you or your spouse a bad person.
Welcome, my friends. My name's Antoine Phoenix, and this is my RP experience. Peace and love to all my brothers and sisters out there. Thank you for hitting the like button, subscribing, sharing, and turning on all notifications so you know when I have my next video up. Today's video is going to be about it's going to be a couple of videos done by Chris Hazid. I hope I say his name correct. And we are going to be covering double standards in relationships, but just one, because that is a rabbit hole that I can definitely go down, because that's definitely a pet peeve of mine, is double standards. That's why when women are squawking about double standards, I try to understand, because that really pisses me off as well. But the only thing I do hate is when women will say something and they'll be clapping, you go girl, and a man says the same thing, their panties will get tight, okay? And they will come out squawking and saying things. And as a man, I'll be like, wait a minute, your girl just said the same thing. But yet when a man does it, is a totally different thing. Some of my exes, well, actually, I think almost all my exes did this, but the one that I was with the longest, she definitely had double standard stuff. Lots of double standard stuff. But hey, it's my fault because I put up with it. And I guess I must have been living under that energy of happy wife, happy life, or happy girlfriend, happy life type of thing. Or it is what it is. This is what I mean when we as men use that phrase, it is what it is. Sometimes it works against us. Well, it works against us a lot of times when we are dealing with women. When things are going on in your life and you did all that you can do, yes, it is what it is. But when you're dealing with an individual and you letting them get away with highway murder, it is not going to be that today. So the is what it is thing is not something that we should use. But let's get into the video now. And thanks for being here.
There is something very, very, very interesting regarding this chick right here. Okay, I'm not gonna let that video play right now. I have to set the scene for you guys. Recently, I did a video along with many other content creators. So guys, here's the background on this situation in this video, right? It starts out with her first talking about how she's wants to open up about a private relationship that she's had, but she doesn't really want to. But we know this is what chicks do on social media. act like they don't, but they end up doing it and then start opening up about like personal things, relationships, the typical stuff we see. But this was different. This was different. The video starts out with her praising this guy. It literally starts out with her talking about how amazing this guy was. Not only does she talk about how good he was, she talks about how he's still in that same video. I kid you not. You guys remember, if you saw it, is still sending her flowers.
This coffee smells like shit.
Still sending her flowers. And she said, not only was he good, he actually exceeded my expectations of what I set as my standard. He exceeded those. But I left him. Why? Because I think I deserve better. Right? I left him because I think I deserve better. And my whole thing during that time was when I was reacting to that video, it's like, well, if he exceeded your expectations, at what point do your expectations, once someone exceeds them, just reach delusion? This is what I'll say in this video. Check it out.
Were already high to begin with, but my ex treated me so well in our relationship that it was like, if the next guy, he's made it harder for the next guy. Because if the next guy isn't coming like my ex or better, then off the rip, you can get to stepping. Like, so, you know, breakups don't always have to be this, oh, I'm learning a hard lesson, or I went through some traumatic experience. Not every relationship is going to end up in a marriage. And the ones that don't end up in marriage doesn't mean that it has to be messy, or, you know, as long as you're upholding your standards within the relationship, it should be a positive experience. And honestly,
I agree with that. I agree with the fact that not every relationship is going to end up in marriage, and there doesn't have to be toxicity involved in the marriage. But how are you getting out of relationships and your standards are even higher and higher and higher and higher? How high can you go? Because at some point you've reached a different level, which we call delusion.
guys know that my
Sounds like a smart man to me. What do you guys think? You guys agreed. A lot of you guys agreed in the comment section. This person says her ex treated her so well, she fired him. It doesn't make sense. Somebody else here says she will be saying the same thing when she's 65 and still single, blah, blah, blah. So here's what happened. Her comment section underneath this video that she made were a bunch of women saying what you assume they're saying, because most of them are out of their minds. They're saying things like, well, you did the right thing, girl. You go, girl. You deserve better. Oh, he was great. Oh, he's still sending you flowers. There was not actually huge problems. You just thought you deserved better, etc. She talks about how now she's letting God lead and blah, 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 blah. And, you know, they love to use God conveniently. But when you talk about submission and the Bible and all that thing, all of a sudden you're speaking another language. And so then this happened. We have a content creator on TikTok who I've actually showed one of his videos. He was one of the videos that I did where, you know, black people sharing things they were uncomfortable with. And you can go, of course, check that out. Here's what this guy did. He's so I just broke up. Here we go. We're going to get into this. Here's what this guy did. He titled his video, "I broke up with my girl of 5 years."
Okay, my man did not play that whole video right there. Now he said that he understood what she was saying at the first part of that video. And yes, I agree with both parties here. Not every relationship leads to a marriage. Not every relationship is meant to last. The relationship that hurt me the most, I guess, because when she left, we didn't have a big blow up. It wasn't like I cheated on her, even though I think she cheated on me after I put two and two together. That's what I think happened. And then she felt bad, and then she did the honorable thing of breaking up with me. Unlike my ex-wife that still wanted to keep the relationship going. And that's the funny thing right there. When women will off the bat say that I don't accept cheating, don't cheat on me, and she just busts out with that. It's something like when a woman will just bust out and say, I don't cook, And I didn't say anything about a woman cooking for me. I think that was one of the reasons why I started cooking for my ex-wife when we was dating each other, was just because I don't know. I guess I just felt it's like I understood the woman's side of always being told that you should be cooking and all that other stuff. And I want to show that, hey, I can cook myself. But then she did something nice, because I'm not going to just always rain down on her on the bad things that she did. But then I remember when she and I first started going out, the ex-wife, she just decided to clean my tub for me. And I'm not always the best with cleaning a tub until she taught me like a trick with cleanser and a Brillo pad. And those things that you think that you can't get out, you can get out if you use that particular trick. Anyway, I digress. So she did that for me without asking. And that's when I started falling for her more and more by the little things that she was doing in the beginning. This what I mean. Women will do certain things in the beginning and then they will stop. But anyway, getting back to it. Women will say things that they won't accept, and then they'll end up doing the same shit right here. And I believe now with Gen Z, the young men are dealing with this thing of women saying, like, we can get into a relationship and it's okay if I just want to leave you or just want to break up. Not because you're a bad guy or something, just because I want something different. She won't use those words, but let him continue.
The video got over 3 million views, probably more by now. But he said the exact same things that she said in her video, right? And the women were furious. They were so angry that they took this video over to Twitter and started trashing this man for saying exactly what she said, that they termed as empowering when she said it. But when a man said it, now it is toxic. Don't believe me? Check it out for yourself. Side note, I'll have his handle and a few other people in the pinned comment section. Let's get into it.
All right, y'all. So I just broke up with my ex of 5 years. And I literally have no complaints about her. Like, she was perfect, right? I used to didn't have a car. Now I have a car. But when I didn't have a car, she used to let me ride around in her car all day while she was at work. And I still didn't have a job. And and it doesn't get any better than that. She used to pay for all the meals. She paid for the bills, all that, until I got my stuff together. But it was just something about her. It was just something about her I just couldn't comprehend. Like, I can't really explain it to y'all, but she was so perfect. But you know how somebody can be good to you, but they're just not that good person to you?
Right.
You know, like, they're that perfect person.
Right.
But it's just, to me, it's more than just being a perfect person. Like, but they just wasn't that perfect person for me.
Right. Right.
If you get what I'm saying.
I feel you.
Like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, and I know it doesn't make sense, but I'm going to try to make it make sense. But she was so perfect in every aspect. She looked good, made good money. Like, I made $30,000 that year, but she made $120,000, and she still humbled herself down to come mess with me.
Wow.
She buys me meals, even to this day. Like, I go home, she'll text me, ask me how my day's going, and then she'll DoorDash me some food while I'm just at the crib not doing anything.
Now, imagine you didn't know about that other video and you came across this video. You'd be mad. The chicks were upset. I saw another dude say he kind of did the same thing, except he wasn't trying to tell a story. He was just basically saying, that's like me saying, I broke up with a really good girl. She just, and I used her. In fact, she just gave me head last night, but she's not my wife. She just domed me up, bro. But I'm looking for my wife. Let's keep watching.
And it's just like, I really can't. I had to make room for who I truly love. Like, even though she was all good and dandy and perfect, I have to make room for my wife. Like, someone who I truly love, even though she might not be as good as this person over here. Me and her goals just didn't align. So I'm just going to let her go and I'm going to let the bird fly.
Right.
You know? I'm gonna let that go, even though she was good to me.
I'm gonna let the bird fly.
I just have to let her go. Like, she'll be good to somebody else. I had to really let her fly away. Like, honestly, she was a blessing to my life, though. So perfect. Good girl. Let me drive her car for real every day. But she literally took care of me.
This man's hitting all the checkpoints for what men who use and abuse women do. He said she lets me ride around in her car while she's at work, pays all the bills. She's got the plan. He's leaning on her. The weight's on her.
She literally upped my standards. She upped my standards. So now, y'all know my standards were already high. She literally upped my standards. So now, y'all know what's going on. On to the next. I'm about to find my wife, y'all. For real.
All right, so that was that. Don't tell me that shit didn't sound crazy, man. Do not tell me that didn't sound crazy. But for some reason, if a chick does it, if a modern woman's over here doing it to a bunch of women who are also void of caffeine, an essential nutrient to get your brain working right, it makes sense. Now let's check out some of these comments. Let's see what people had to say. But here's the thing. At this point, over 3+ million views, people are catching on because he came out with another video later on being like, oh, I gotcha. So this comment here says, all I hear is when he got his stuff together, then he left her. Somebody else here says, ladies, this is why you cannot build a man up. He got a car now. He want to leave her. Somebody else here says, you were just not meant to be. And it's a good thing you broke up with her. Somebody else here says, know your worth, ladies. Another person who says, this is my baby daddy. Another person who says, I'm confused on why you broke up with her. A different story from when a woman says something that sounds this delusional, but the only way they can see it is when a man says it. Here's another comment that says, both videos highlight the fact that there was zero feelings, just material, superficial, surface things. Point made. Another woman here says, and this is why I can't be the good person I am. Never be a placeholder. Guys don't want stability. Somebody else here says, my question is, why do you have to wait for 5 years before you break up? Shira said, don't be the Bob the Builder. Another comment here says, how she sounds. Here's somebody else who says, I hope she finds better. Anger. Another comment here says, women out here, listen to this. Be with the man who brings you higher. He said she humbled herself for me. Here's another woman who says, my ex did this and literally said, I have no clue what makes me feel like I was the dude. There was nothing wrong with you and you were perfect. So, of course, they're all in the feelings. Here's someone else who says, imagine doing all that for a man and he gonna go and talk about you like that.
That right there. That right there. I see a lot of women, and it's not all of them. I think maybe it's about a good 50% of women. Okay, I know I have a lot of women on my social media, and I will admit that maybe it's just 20% of them that will put their relationship business online. Okay, so it's kudos. It's not all of you with that particular thing. But as far as telling other people your business, that is a lot. Throwing your man under the bus, that is a lot. I used to love all of my girlfriends that I was in a relationship that went at least over 6 months. I loved them to death at the time that I loved them. But I think all of them, except maybe my last one, because it never came back to me that she said anything bad to me. That's why, that she said anything bad about me. So I have to admit, I was wrong when I went online with my thing, but it was a residual of what I went through with the ex-wife that was talking to about me online and off, telling other dudes our business. I mean, that's how she betrayed me the worst. Of course, she did things that I could say is micro cheating or probably cheating, but that right there was definitely the worst because that was total disrespect. And then, how could other men respect me when your woman's not respecting you? I'm pretty sure I didn't say that right. But if your woman don't respect you, obviously other men is not going to respect you, especially if she's just blatantly doing that. And I was too much a sucker to pick up what was going on. That's why I will always say, once a woman starts doing, once she doesn't respect you, is time to go. But that's the thing that, look, I understand. I know men have double standards with women, especially with body count things like that, or needs being met. We can have double standards with that type of stuff, as far as men wanting their sexual needs met and then looking down that women want their emotional needs met. I try not to do that one right there. That's why I usually do not have that sex problem. But I understand a lot of men do that. But women have way more double standards than men. Is like ridiculous. And this is just one of them right here. Just one.
I think she meant to say talk about you. Yeah. There you go. Right. Let's, you know what, just for the hell of it, let's go check out Imani Talks video, just so that there's almost a clear contrast with the difference in reaction to his video versus when she said what she said. Let's see. Where's that video at? Where's that shit at? Where's it at? I'm trying to see if I can find it. I think I have to search it. Let me search it by name. Let's see. Imani Talks. Breakup, something like that. I probably butchered her name. Did she delete the video? Yo, if he got her to delete the video, then he wins for sure. He's proven his point. Point made. Coffee served, drink it.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
X was a.
Let me see. Let me talk. Let me type in X. Can't believe this shit's this hard to find. Wow. She might have deleted that shit. That's crazy. Hold on, guys. I don't give up easily, man. So I'm going to make sure. I feel like I'm not.
What do you think? How do you feel about Cardi?
Let's go down. Let's go down. Let's go down.
You know, I'm just going to tell you the truth, and this is from.
So we can sit around and
Mary. Let's get into.
This chick is loud.
you know, whenever
Where do we go from here? One thing that we all know, a lot of like, does ever.
let me tell y'all something.
By the way, this chick now is trying to play victim. She's responded back to other people who disagree with a lot of the delusional stuff she said. She straight up does not like men in general, right? She's a typical feminist. Men are dangerous. They're evil to society. They commit all the crimes, etc. Name me one good thing men do. So she has this disdain, that modern disdain for just masculinity in general. And what's crazy is she's now trying to play victim and act like, oh, people are so obsessed with me. Why people is keeping my name? Dude, you're out here saying crazy stuff. You're in the
He's
spotlight.
very romantic.
People
I
are
feel
going
really-
to talk about you.
So like,
And you're saying crazy shit.
is it risky?
Damn, I think she might have deleted that video. We're not going to give up just yet. Let's go check the Instagram. I got to go check the IG. Make sure it's just, it'd be too perfect if I can compare and contrast the videos one after the other. I just want to make sure if she did delete it, I can confirm it's gone.
Give it up, man. She deleted that. Take that L, lady. Take that L. And that's a win for the guys right there. See, this is when women cannot empathize with a man's plight. She cannot see his side of the argument right there. And once again, you should not stay with somebody if you are miserable. If for some reason you discover you two are incompatible. But when women come on here and say these things of, he wasn't a bad guy, I just wanted to do something different and skip away. Actually, it's going to be a guy right here that's going to hammer this point home of how it sounds to a man when women are saying that. This is why I'm definitely scared to ever get married again. This is a question that I need to ask a woman of how she views breakups in relationships. Because if she's going to be saying some stupid shit like this, oh no, we definitely not getting married and we're not having kids. I'm not going to be tied to you while you can skip away in the sunset and I still have to pay you like we are together. Meanwhile, I don't get anything from us not being together. I don't get to smash you anymore. I can't really call you up and tell you what's going on in my life. Maybe I could, but a lot of times when I would talk to my ex-wife about something, she'll listen and then automatically she starts talking about her own life stuff. Like anything I just say went one ear out of another. Unless if I'm giving her somewhat advice to something, and still I don't think she always takes that to heart either. But a lot of times I feel like I'm wasting my breath right there. So really, I'm not getting nothing too much out of our interactions. Except for I'll say one thing. When my daughter, I wanted to take my daughter somewhere and my ex accompanied us, and actually she drove us down there. And that was nice of her because that was like at least an hour drive right there. Because I wanted to take my daughter to see this, even though they mentioned this first, but I also was like, hey, this be nice to go to some haunted lighthouse thing right there. So I say, okay, let's go. And that was a nice thing right there. But anyway, let's get back.
And that's a W for the coffee. I think she deleted the video. I don't see it. Mission accomplished. Okay, so obviously this whole topic blew like wildfire and everybody started chime in. And shout out to another content creator here, which I also pinned to the top of the comment section, John Cannon. I'm going to see what he has to say because I like a lot of his takes. Let's check it out. Let's go.
I don't know if y'all have seen what Mark been up to lately. He been doing God's work. I'ma tag him. So the Imani Talks girl, that girl, I remember she had a video, right? Listen, because I don't think anybody's understanding what's happening in its totality. Don't worry, y'all, I'm sitting in stop and go traffic. All the emergency vehicles is flying by. I'm hella late, so I got time. Somebody must have a DIED. What is going? Anyway, I done seen like 10 vehicles. So the Imani Talks girl, I didn't really pay no attention to it, but she had a video come out, I think a few weeks ago, where she was basically breaking down how she had a long-time boyfriend who, her words, not mine, he was so good to her, he worshiped the ground she walked on.
Right.
Her already high standards were exceeded by this man. She doesn't know what it was, but he simply was not her husband. And so I saw that. I didn't make a video about it. Y'all know I make a video about everything. But I saw that and I was like, what the anyway, I didn't even make a video about it. I was like, that is crazy. So Mark been on some shit lately. Y'all go follow him. I'm a tag, bro. He say, let me go ahead and do it. Y'all know Mark good for the parody, but he stuck it through. He usually laugh at the end like, y'all know I'm bullshit. He stuck it through and he said all the same exact things she said, right? I just had a 5-year relationship. I had to break up with her. She was just too perfect. You know, she made 100,000. I made 30,000. She came down and with me. She used to let me drive her car around, but now I got my own shit. She raised my already high standard. And at first, I didn't really care too much about the controversy until I saw how the women responded to him. Oh, you freed her. Oh, she could do so much better than you. This is why we don't date men right now. This is why we choosing to be single. Woody, 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 woo. Then I went and I looked at her video and her comment section saying the same exact things that he said, just a different gender. And the women were like, yeah, girl, sometimes you just know a woman's intuition is never wrong. And it's kind of crazy because you have to understand, if you have already high standards, her words, not mine, and someone exceeds everything you expected out of a romantic partner, her words, not mine, how can you say it's not good enough? That really means like you have a gluttonous personality. Like you can say, I want the world. Someone can give you the world, the moon, the stars. Now you want a galaxy. Now you want the galaxy. That's what it sounds like. That's why I didn't make a video about it, because it sounds so absurd. Women can only see the wrong in something when a man does it though. And that's scary. Big shouts to Mark. Keep doing that boy going hella viral lately. I don't know if you.
All right, so let's check out some of the comments here in response to what John Ken had to say right there. First comment says, I knew, okay, Scarface Mark right there. Of course, I have both these guys pinned to the top of the comment section. Says, I knew it was going to happen. Shloki stopped effing with him because he was having financial problems or something. Here's somebody else who says, not going to lie, he on a 2,000 Shaq run right now. Somebody else who says, bro, been cooking and double standards are blatant. Okay, so there we go. Very interesting stuff. And next here, what we're going to see is this topic got so heated that Twitter even got involved in this whole situation. Of course, I'm curious. What do you guys think so far with this turnout? Are you surprised? Check it out.
I heard I got them folks on Twitter.
Shout out to Scarface Mark right here. Let's turn the volume up though. Let's go.
I heard I got them folks on Twitter heated. I heard I got them mad, y'all. If you ain't got no haters, you ain't popping, eh? If you ain't got no haters, you ain't popping, eh? Oh my goodness. Listen, this man was with a woman for 5 years, and the whole time she pretty much was like his mom, lending him her car, paying for his stuff. She made $120K and he made $30K. Oh my goodness, listen. He says she built his standards up. She was perfect, but not perfect for him. He's ready to find himself a wife. Listen, I made it on Twitter and they was eating me up, y'all. Listen, shorty right here gonna say, yikes, this makes me worry about who his next target is. Oh, like they don't really know this is a joke, y'all. But you gotta love publicity. You gotta love it. Listen, all publicity is good publicity, whether it's negative or positive. Listen, if you got a cap and make people mad to prove your point, do it. Let this be your sign. We did like 7 million views in like a day. Listen, do it.
Twitter's good for, TikTok's good for that. The views for sure. I'm now curious. I kind of want to go see what they're talking about over there on. Okay, here we are. Scarface Mark. Okay. So so this is the top post here 4 hours ago. This shit's still popping right now. Headline, why you must avoid poor men. And it goes on to say, reality TV star, Doan Gender, whatever the hell. So let's check out some of these comments. Men like this shouldn't make you build with a man you love. There's a lot of evil people in the world, but we shouldn't judge new people in our lives by the sins of others. Don't bleed on who didn't cut you. So she's like, don't. Just because we have a rotten apple here doesn't mean every man's like this, right? He's evil, but they're not all like this. So they're eating the shit up. Of course, they're buying it. Here's somebody else who says, man had a good woman and fumbled. Somebody else who says, poor man don't suffer, even poverty rejects. I'm looking for the chicks. I want to see the double standards. Here, let's see. This person says, Scarface Mark just completed one of the best social media experiments. Yeah. Hilarious, LOL. So this woman says, there was nothing wrong with Imani's video where she said her ex was a good guy. She didn't say he was good. She said he was great. Not only did she say that he was great, she said that he surpassed her standards, bro. Imagine you setting strict guidelines and you have an employee and you're running a business and they surpass that and you fire him and say, you know what? You just showed me that my standards are too low. She goes on to say, but they were ultimately not compatible. Scarface is an idiot. No, that's you're just angry. She never said that. Yo, insane, crazy. Of course, curious to know what you guys think.
And this right here will just be a endless conversation. Now, usually I try talking to the women at the same time when I'm bringing up this stuff right here, but I know most of them, majority of them, at least 70 or 80% of them is not going to pay attention to anything that I'm saying with this or any man is saying because they won't be able to wrap their head around it. This is why, once again, even though women will say that emotional intelligence thing, a lot of you don't have as much emotional intelligence as you think, because otherwise you would be able to understand what is right and what is wrong when flipped. Unless if you just want to say, which a lot of you are not going to box yourself in that corner, say, well, that I'm a woman, so I should be able to get away with that because a man is held to different types of standards. Now, that's truthfully how a lot of you are acting, but you just won't say that right there. Even though if you say that right there, then men can turn around and say, okay, well, we playing by that game then you should be in the kitchen cooking. You have certain things that I need you to do. Okay, as you need certain things for me to do. But see, women are at least smart enough to not do that particular thing right there because they don't want to box themselves in a particular corner. But I don't know. See, the worst thing to happen for women was for them to come on social media and start self-snitching. Like you could say with, what is his name? I cannot think of his darn name right now. But for you to say what you are doing and how you are thinking. And that way men can actually see in real time how a lot of women are thinking. And even though that's just one woman making a video, then you can look underneath the videos and see a lot of thumbs up and women agreeing and hooray and all that other stuff. So if you notice a woman that is commenting or liking certain women, like sprinkle, okay, that's what I meant to say. Andrew Tate, that usually be telling on himself when he be saying things. And you know what? I think because he feels a little guilty, I do somewhat of a similar thing, but I'm doing it just to be fair. If I'm going to point out certain things that exes of mine have done, I'm big enough to say, like, hey, I know I wasn't perfect. I wasn't an innocent victim there. I could have just walked away. I could have did a lot of things to not stay in that situation. But I chose to let her get over. But I'm not making that mistake no more. And that's why I have the stances that I take. So that's pretty much it. Give me a like, subscribe, have a good day. And I have plenty of other videos that you guys can see. So have a good day. God bless everyone.
To assume that all men are rapists, stalkers, and murderers when
Yeah, you need to learn statistics. Pause and process that for a moment. If men were the problem, how come only 26% of gay men go through that in relationships together, yet almost half of all lesbian women? Sounds like it's just evil people being evil and has nothing to do with what you got down below. Furthermore, when I was in junior high and high school, I don't recall a single one of the boys reaching down my bra, but a couple of the girls did. I've never once had random ass men walk up to me and kiss me and grab me. I've had several females do it. Oh, by the way, men are actually sexually assaulted by women just as much as girls are by men. They just don't report it as often, and when they do, nobody goes and does anything because, good on you, bro. You got an older woman. You're kind of part of the problem and the reason why so many men don't report it when they're sexually abused. Good night.
Dirty work. Your ego has driven you out of truth. You only played yourself, got no game.